Hello everybody, I'm Jessicat, all decked out in my December skin as you may notice, and I apologize for my hoarse voice. I'm a bit sick, but it's really not a big deal. I'm just going to sound a bit weird in today's video. And if you have been watching the series Nemesis Winds of Time, the map that I've been playing with Weedud and my siblings, you would know that recently when we were playing that map, I tried to break an emerald block with a stone pickaxe. And that doesn't work, as you can see. You can't pick up an emerald block if you break it with a stone pickaxe. You can, however, if you pick it up with an iron pickaxe. So today I want to go over all of the tools you need to break certain blocks, because I apparently need a refresher on that, and maybe some of you do too, and you might be surprised by some of what you see in this video. Now, before we get into this, real quick, I want to add a disclaimer that this is for Minecraft 1.15 Java Edition, so please don't bug me if this is incorrect for a version after that or a different version of the game. This is Minecraft 1.15 Java Edition. That is all. So now let's take a look at this. You can see that I've laid out every block in Minecraft, and by that I do mean every block. I don't think there's a single block that's not here. So these blocks are all organized by the lowest level tool it takes to break them, or the kind of tool it takes to break them in some cases. So over here we have wooden pickaxe and golden pickaxe. And yes, golden is the same level as wooden. You can't break things that you would need an iron pickaxe for with a golden pickaxe, funnily enough. Even though, you would think you could, but you can't. So don't go try breaking a block of diamond ore with a golden pickaxe. You're not going to get diamonds, you're just going to get disappointment. And the block will disappear forever, and there go your diamonds. So this is golden and wooden, this is stone, this is iron, this is diamond. This means a block that is just broken by the player with a fist. You can just break it with your fist or with any non-tool item, and it will break and give you the item. This is a column for shears and silk touch combined, so for each of these you will need either shears or silk touch, or in some cases both, but they're not separate. I put them in the same column, so you'll have to use your best judgment on whether to use silk touch or shears, but it's pretty obvious, I would say, in all cases. And then these are miscellaneous blocks that I will go over one by one because they've got some wacky exceptions. So, let's start off with this column over here, the wooden/golden pickaxe one, or in some cases a wooden shovel is also required. So this includes all the stone blocks, coal ore, and all the stone variants. This, by the way, is petrified oak, in case you were wondering, so that's why it's classified as a stone. Snow blocks and snow layers require a shovel to drop snowballs, otherwise they will drop nothing if mined with a fist, which is interesting. Then you've got all of these, and interestingly enough, you only need a wooden pickaxe to mine an enchantment table. If you try to break it with your fist, it will disappear, but if you mine it with a wooden pickaxe, you'll get it back, which makes sense because they're so valuable. Like, they do require some fairly rare resources to make, so I understand that. And if you want to get obsidian back from breaking an ender chest, you only need to break it with a wooden pickaxe. You can break it with levels higher than that, and it will still drop obsidian. It's only if you mine it with silk touch that it won't drop obsidian. But you can mine it with a wooden pickaxe and it will drop 8 obsidian, which is funny. Then you've got all the stone walls, anvils, these pressure plates, getting quartz from quartz ore, and all this stuff. It's just the stone-related blocks and like the mineral-related blocks typically. And we're just going to keep going down the line here. We've got all the terracottas and the concretes. The dead coral blocks require a pickaxe to be mined. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Interestingly enough, the brewing stand requires a pickaxe. I feel like intuitively that one would be mineable by hand, but it's not. Yeah, that's it for the pickaxe ones. That's it for the wooden pickaxe blocks. Let's go back and talk about the stone pickaxe blocks, which there are very few to talk about. You would think that a stone pickaxe was useful and necessary, and it is. You need it to get iron, but as you can see, you can't really use a stone pickaxe for that much. It's either a wooden pickaxe or something higher, typically. But funnily enough, you can mine lapis lazuli blocks with a stone pickaxe and get lapis, which I did not know that until I played Minecraft Earth recently, and in Minecraft Earth it's the same thing, and I was very surprised by that. But yes, there you go, you can mine lapis with a stone pickaxe and get lapis blocks. Next up we have the iron pickaxe, which these ones should be pretty familiar to everyone, right? Diamond ore for diamonds, redstone ore for redstone, emerald ore for emeralds, and all of the associated blocks. Interestingly enough, however, the redstone block is not in that column. It is over here with the wooden pickaxe blocks. For some odd reason, Mojang made it so that you can break the redstone block with only a wooden pickaxe, but you need an iron pickaxe for all the rest. Go figure. Then, of course, we have the diamond pickaxe, and I figured there would be a little more in this category, but you only need a diamond pickaxe for an obsidian block, which is crazy to me. I mean, that's wacky. That's the only thing you need a diamond pickaxe for. I mean, of course, you would want to use it for other things, but technically this is all you need it for. Now we have, by far, the longest column, the punching column, and we're just going to go over these slowly. You can punch gravel to get flint, and gravel, of course. You've got all the wooden blocks, that's typically where they're all going to be. You can punch these to get saplings, as well as the other things that leaves drop. Yeah, we're just going to keep going. You can punch these to get seeds and sticks for the dead bush. You can punch seagrass to get it. Wools, all the flowers, and slabs, TNT, chorus flowers. There's so much stuff. It's ridiculous. There's so much stuff that you can just punch and get. You can punch clay to get clay blobs and cacti. We're going to keep going. Just going to give you a flyover, and feel free to pause the video at any point if you want to. You can punch these blocks to get what's on top of them. I think you've figured out my rule by now. Lily pads, tripwire hooks. Beacons is one I wanted to mention. You can punch beacons and get them back. They won't disappear if you destroy them with anything, which makes a ton of sense given that you have to get a nether star to craft a beacon, so you wouldn't want this thing to disappear if you forgot and accidentally mined it with, like, a piece of sand you were holding or something. So it makes sense, but it's also kind of crazy to me that you can just break it with your fist and get it back. So there you go. Pro tip, if you have a beacon that you want to mine but you don't have a pickaxe on hand, just use your fist. It'll be fine, I promise. And then, we've got all this other stuff. Some more stairs, more flowers. If you punch a sea lantern, you will get prismarine. Oh, I always get these mixed up. Yeah, these are prismarine crystals. You'll get those. And it just keeps going forever and ever and ever. I mean, not really, but it keeps going for a very long time. Conduits are the same as beacons. You can also punch them with your fist, and they will be just fine, which is interesting. And signs, minecarts, boats, I included. All these beds, and the mob heads, armor stands, banners, and the new wooden blocks, as well as a couple of the honey related blocks. And here's an interesting one, the structure void. The structure void is this little item right here. It is a block that is not available in survival, and you can't get it in the creative menu. You can only get it through commands, but it's this little weird blank box. And it doesn't do anything, and technically it shouldn't be here, because you cannot obtain it by breaking it with your fist. It just vanishes. But I put it here anyway because I thought it was interesting that you can break it with your fist at all, because typically these weird secret little blocks are just not breakable in survival, but this one is. So I added that one on. Technically it doesn't belong in this group, but I added it anyway. Next up, we have the Silk Touch / Shears column, which is a bit of a tongue twister. And, I'm just gonna skim through most of these. Yeah, just gonna show you these. These, by the way, are infested blocks, not normal blocks, and the reason that they have themselves on top of them is because they're not actually themselves. If I pick block this, you'll see that it's regular stone. You get the regular variant of an infested block if you mine it with Silk Touch, and it's actually very useful. I made a video about this. Well, it was called How to Avoid Silverfish, but it talks about this and how if you mine an infested block, you get the normal variant. I believe that Mojang made it that way so you can't troll people by mining infested blocks with Silk Touch and then putting them in people's bases, because that way it's a little bit harder to annoy people with silverfish, because silverfish are really annoying. So I think that's why they made that change. But yes, if you mine an infested block with Silk Touch, you get the regular variant. So that's a useful little tip if you ever wanted to know how to safely get rid of silverfish. Then you have the mushroom blocks and all this stuff, including the ender chest, as we discussed previously. And let's keep going. Turtle eggs, coral blocks, even the dead coral variants. I thought it was interesting that you need a pickaxe to mine the dead coral blocks, but not the extra little coral things that are dead. For these, you need shears, which is a bit odd if you ask me, but it's a thing. And then the campfire as well. The campfire, if you mine it normally, will only drop coal. It's only if you mine it with Silk Touch that it will drop an actual campfire. And finally, we come to the last column, which I think is the most fun. This column is for blocks that cannot be broken or cannot be obtained by breaking them, or are broken with weird things like dragon eggs. You used to be able to break bedrock with a dragon egg with some weird piston technique. I'm not entirely sure if that's still a thing you can do anymore, but either way, either bedrock isn't breakable, or it's breakable with a dragon egg, or it's breakable with something else. People have figured out other strategies too, and either way, bedrock is not a typical block to break, and you cannot obtain it no matter how hard you try, so that's why it's in this column. Cobwebs are also in this column because, weirdly enough, even though it seems like you should be able to, you can't punch cobwebs with your fist and get string back. It's only if you break them with a sword that it does give you string. So if I give myself a sword and then I break the cobwebs, you'll see that I get string. So that's why they're in this column. If you want to get string from cobwebs, you'll have to use an unconventional breaking method, such as the sword. Next up, we have the infested blocks. These ones are, again, the infested silverfish blocks, and that's because you cannot obtain normal infested silverfish blocks in survival. You have to get them in the creative menu or with commands. You cannot silk touch them and get them, as we discussed previously, so that's why they're here. You cannot, as far as I know, break the end portal block in any way. You cannot obtain the path block in your inventory in any way. The cake, interestingly enough, cannot be obtained once you place it on the ground. Once you place it on the ground, there is no way of breaking it that will successfully return it to your inventory. The same thing with the end crystal. You can't break the end crystal and have it return to your inventory. As soon as you try to click on it with anything, it's going to explode. I would demonstrate, but I don't want to destroy everything else. The barrier block is another block that is simply unbreakable, as is the command block and the structure block and the jigsaw block. The dragon egg is not breakable through conventional means, although you can, of course, break it by dropping it onto a torch. And then we have the spawner, and the spawner is only here because you can't obtain a spawner in survival Minecraft. You can't silk touch it or anything. So there you go. There you have all the blocks organized by the tool that it takes to break them. This was a very useful little journey into the technicalities of Minecraft for me, so I hope it was useful to you as well. I hope it brought some refreshers or maybe some things you didn't know. And just as a recap, basically 99.9% of the blocks found in Minecraft can be mined with either your fist or a wooden pickaxe or a wooden tool. So just a reminder that, you know, if you think you can't, there's so many blocks you can't break in Minecraft. That's not true, actually. Most of them you can break very easily and get them back just fine, and I think that's funny. And the third biggest column is shears/silk touch, which is kind of funny if you ask me, because I never really thought that there were that many blocks that needed shears or silk touch, but it turns out there are. So there you have it. There's the big chart that looks like a bar graph, and if you think of it as a bar graph, it's pretty hilarious to look at, with those columns just stretching way off into the distance. But yes, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this helped. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!